Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Iron Fist, Season 1, Episode 3. It's called Rolling Thunder Cannon Punch. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. We were pretty down on Episode 2. This episode didn't make me as angry.
No, I don't think it was as bad. It was just mediocre again.
It was more boring, though.
Yeah,
Like, it was this weird thing where it wasn't doing as many stupid things.
but wasn't really doing more of anything.
Yeah, it was more tedious. Again, this was like an hour long, full hour, 60 minutes, give or take. And I felt it. I felt all of it.
Why is there no one in the editing room going, "Hey, let's trim this down a bit"?
It baffles me. And we were seeing some of the stuff the reviews were talking about him coming in and being better than everyone else in the dojo. And he is really quite obnoxious in the scene in this when he comes in and he's like trying to teach them new punches, and him and Colleen get into a fight.
He is obnoxious about it. This is still one where it doesn't look good, but again, I don't know with the training history. I don't know how it would go down.
I don't really care about the training history. It's not about him being better in this case. It's about him being obnoxious, and he's like giving all these little bits of advice as he's doing it, as if has no idea what she's doing, and it felt. Like, take race out of the picture. It's not even about
it's
that.
condescending. Don't get me wrong, but
It's just condescending as shit, and
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
why am I supposed to like this asshole at this point?
Well, there was the one bit where he goes, he's doing that. He's doing the bit with the fake sword. He's like, "Oh, go slow at first." I'm like, "Please tell me you're talking about the show." Go slow at first, and then he's like, and then speed up. I was like, "Please be about the show." Just so I've got some sort of hope.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really believe it.
That whole scene was just really cringe-worthy. And then, so Trinity, Hogarth, Trinity's character from Jessica Jones, showed up.
Yeah. Sorry, I was wondering where you were going with that a second. I was like, who?
Yeah, I didn't remember her name, Hogarth.
Well, no. When you said Trinity, I was like,
All right.
what? Am I missing?
Well, you seen Carrie Ann Moss, you know.
I know, but until you said who it was, I didn't put the link together.
All right. Well, only her most famous role that everyone recognises her for, but whatever. She shows up. It turns out she's the one who's like sort of maintaining the grave site and like the affairs of the family, as it were.
This makes sense because obviously I've been reading some of the comics. The character that she's adapted from, which was a man in the comics, was like Danny's friend, and he was the one running his company for him.
All right, that's cool. So she shows up and he goes to her, and this scene. Oh, I say it didn't make me angry. This kind of made me angry, but not because in and of itself it was anger-inducing. It was
She was
anger-inducing.
pointing out all the problems.
Well, no, it wasn't that she was pointing out all the problems. I mean, sure, that's there as well, but it was that everything we complained about in the first two episodes about people not believing who he was and how they kept just not saying the right things, they did it here, and it worked in about 30 seconds. He convinced her who he was within 30 seconds of meeting her. Almost to a fault. He almost remembered too many details that I would buy someone.
Say, yeah. Oh, what desk and like to that.
Like,
I'd have thought the first bit was enough. Oh, you called this woman whatever it was, and then you gave me $5 not to say anything.
Regardless of what was enough, I don't actually even buy that you would remember that from like. I mean, he was 10 when he left.
I know.
I don't remember details like that. Whereas
I think he must have gone through some extreme memory training at Kunlun.
He would have. I completely buy that he would remember about the being paid to keep quiet. He'd remember that. That's the kind of interaction that's notable.
Yeah, exactly.
The desk thing, though, I was like, really? Would you remember
That's
that?
when it lost me. Like the first bit is like you're giving a kid money for doing something. Like it's a bond. There is something there to remember.
So, Bond, you're teaching them about capitalism.
Yeah, you teach
and bribery.
Bribery, exactly. It's very important in this corporate world that Danny was born into.
But luckily, she is the first character in this show that has a goddamn bit of sense in her, and she's like, right, we need proof, we need that, we need blah 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 blah, right? And here's the thing: they completely, again, much like the whole everyone believing that he's actually Danny was wrapped up kind of unceremoniously, like it just kind of amounted to nothing. They also prove that he's Danny in something that kind of felt like nothing. It just felt out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there's this little pot that he made for Joy when he was a kid. And they basically, his thumbprint's on there, so we can prove that it's him, and it is, and so on. And it comes out of nowhere. Now, obviously, from a character perspective, it looks like Joy might have had something, even though she's
Yeah,
pretending
because
to
we
go
see
along.
her look at it,
Yeah.
and it's like maybe she had the idea.
And even though she's going along with her brother, and it seems like she's being kind of vindictive and all the rest of it, and she's going down the dark side, it implies that she is the one who kind of sent that in and started the process, because she secretly doesn't want to, like.
And he's got to know, right? He'll have been to her house and seen this.
If you noticed
Because it was on, well, you say that, but it was on like the table. Like it wasn't like it was hiding. It was just there. He might have gone, I've seen that before.
Well, it doesn't have to have, though. Why are you even arguing this? It was a present he gave to her. Her name is written on it.
True.
It was from
True.
her house. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
even have to argue that he's seen it. He would just know from context.
Well, exactly. It's just like, will he not suspect her now?
That's why her brother. That's why he's looking at her ward. These like.
Yeah, but he's a bit of a pussy in this episode, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but he's always been that.
I know, but his whole thing in the first one, rules are for pussies, and this one is like, nah, I'm out. What? I'm by it.
Aye, we'll give context for that statement. What is he out of?
Everything. He's scared of his dad, and he's like, oh, I don't want anything to do with any of this anymore. He basically wants to run away.
Yes, but Joy doesn't. Joy believes in the company and wants to uphold it. And she doesn't know her father's alive, by the way. That's repeated numerous times that she's under the impression he's dead.
Yeah, they're really not subtle about that, are they?
No.
They really need us to know that she has no idea.
And speaking of Harold, so Madame Gao, at least it sounds like her, shows up at
Sounds like it to me, yeah.
at his penthouse, and the lights all turn off, and it's this really intimidating thing. And it's basically say, you left the house, you're not meant to leave the house, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but what is this scene achieving that we didn't already get from the message in the window? She literally doesn't say anything else.
She makes him kneel in some glass. I guess it's just the only thing we get that I can see is just how scared he is. I mean, like we got he was scared, but he was willing to kneel in glass and slice himself.
But in that case, why did we get the first one? Why did we get the hand in the window?
Yeah, I don't know.
It just feels
it's one or the other, isn't it?
it feels redundant. Like, just give me this one and that's fine, or just give me. I actually think the other one's better. I think the hand in the window is much more cooler because it's how did they get up outside the window? It's more intimidating. This was more cheesy 90s bullshit villain. I am your evil master. I have you under my thumb.
If you don't have the first one, you don't know that this is to do with the hand. So that makes this scene the redundant one, regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they don't mention that in this scene.
They don't mention it in the scene, but he's referenced it in other scenes though, so you would be able to put it together that it's connected. But I don't know. I wasn't particularly.
So I feel like as soon as you hear the words "the hand," you just tune out. It's like, no, okay.
Well, it depends. It depends what follows it, because the word a sentence might start with the hand, and then go into something else.
Okay, fine. In context of this show.
But so yeah, that was a thing. So throughout this episode, and it's so he's living in Colleen's dojo. He promises to pay for stuff, and he oversteps his bounds and sort of mistreats tries to train the students with discipline, because again he takes himself too seriously, and he's this perfect sort of student of his arts, and again he feels so thin. He feels like he has no real character. I guess the closest he comes to is when he tries to get his medical records, his X-ray from when he broke a bone as a kid.
Broke his arm, I think it was. Yeah.
And someone, Ward sent someone to take care of it, so there's no evidence. They're kind of wiping out his history, so they can't prove that he's him.
Yeah.
And he fights him, and he sort of storms into the restaurant where him and Joy are having lunch, and demands answers and confronts him and all the rest of it. And honestly, ultimately, I feel like this episode, a lot of it was the drama between him and those two, and I don't really care about any of it. It's really...
Yeah.
Partly because I think Ward... All three of them are really thin as characters, but Ward is he's just this thin, one-note kind of villain. Outside of the fact that he wants to leave, which I guess makes him slightly more interesting, but that's kind of about it. Joy, it feels like they want to do the thing where, okay, she's involved in this, but she actually has a conscience. But the problem is she keeps flip-flopping with how she's handling
Yeah,
it.
I can't predict which way they're going with it. Are they going to go ultimately she's going to be good, or is it ultimately she's going to go bad? Because they can't give me enough to decide on at any point.
She keeps flip-flopping. She keeps changing because
And she goes quite extreme every time she changes as well.
yeah, she gets really angry in that scene, and she threatens him back down, and she like, you're not my brother, and blah 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 blah. She gets really harsh, and then like we see that she is a bit of an extreme player. She's trying to get this deal done for the docks that the company needs, and she like basically wrangles this guy who's dying because the guy who's going to sign off in these papers, his nephew is dying, needs a liver transplant. It's like, oh, this won't go through the proper channels. This won't go through the list of donors. This will just go straight to your nephew, kind of thing. And it's this whole thing when she takes him to the hospital, and it's like she's this big shot. She's clearly the one who has the personal skills to do this kind of stuff. Which is why I'm saying, well, maybe she will like ultimately turn to the dark side and be the proper villain.
That's what I feel like, because it feels like she'd be a more interesting foil than Ward, because Ward just kind of seems thin as shit. He doesn't do anything for himself. It's for his dad, or
but
or
at
he
the
wants
same
to
time,
run.
like isn't she just, if she finds out her dad's alive and's been lying this whole time, like it feels like, why would she even want to go down that path?
Exactly, and that's why I can't figure it. It's like they're pointing me in one direction, but then everything else is saying another direction. It just, I don't know what they're trying to tell me at this point.
Honestly, the most enjoyment I got out of this episode was Carrie Ann Moss completely chewing their asses at the meeting
That was fun.
with the lawyers, because they were being all smug, and she just kind of whips out the pot, whips it out on the table, and shows them how big it is. Essentially, is how that scene went.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it was kind of glorious. So that's all. That's all fine and well.
It's notable that so far the best character is one that's carried over from another show.
I know. I know. Well, not to be fair, Colleen's not bad.
No, I want to actually say on the fight, the one in the hospital was probably the best fight scene yet, because it was in such a enclosed space. They ended up cutting quite a bit more than normal.
Yeah, it's almost like they were forced to do that because of the location.
Yeah. There was no way they could just have a long, slow take, so it felt a little bit better in that sense. But I don't feel like it was a conscious choice either.
Because otherwise, Colleen, who goes to this fighting ring, this cage fighting ring, sort of underground, obviously it's illegal, and she goes into this fight, and this big guy comes in, and she has this fight where she like proves she's a badass. Which, by the way, so going back to this whole, Danny's great at everything. He's much better at martial arts and all this stuff than she is. He taught her a punch, and she uses this punch to win the fight, and it goes all this slow motion, and she uses it at the end to win. And it's like, oh, it's a good job he came along and taught her that.
Probably is, isn't it? Convenient.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, that was a weird fight to watch.
It was really weird. It was weirdly paced.
2/3 of it were really slow and sluggish, and then the final bit sped up, and it was like, okay, this is what it should have been the whole time.
Yeah, especially it was that slow motion for the tiger punch or whatever it was. The thing. Interestingly,
Leopard, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's not the leopard. It's not. It's weird. I would have thought when I seen the name of the episode was a punch. I thought, oh, that must be the punch that he taught her, and I was like, oh wait a minute, no, it wasn't. It was like an animal. What the hell's this Rolling Thunder bollocks?
I don't get any of the titles actually.
Well, they're all. They're all sort of martial arts sounding kind of.
Well, yeah, but I don't get them in relation to the episode.
I don't either, but I'm going to assume they make sense if you know what they are.
That's
thematically.
Fair.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that they make sense.
Yeah, I personally don't. They don't mean anything to me, which is fine. Not everything has to as an episode title.
Yeah. So after the meeting at the company, where he's basically, yeah, we can prove he's Danny, and yeah, we're coming for the money, bitches. He follows Ward back to the penthouse, and he actually ends up climbing outside the building to get up, because obviously there's a hand scanner. He can't just walk into the actual penthouse. And as he's getting in the window, this is the cliffhanger we end on. He gets pushed out the window, and he's obviously going to just grab the ledge that was under him, because you could see.
Yeah. He's definitely not going to be completely fine, is he? No, nothing bad could possibly happen to him this early in the show, and it couldn't end with him being kicked off 80-story building. 4 episodes in.
I will say this though: the shot of him actually climbing outside of it looked really good.
It did. And it kind of makes me think, the ninjas might look pretty cool.
Because the best, actually, one of the most impressive looking things in episode 1 was him like climbing up the balcony of the house. Even though it was like, why are you doing this? You're breaking in. You're just going to look more like a criminal and suspicious. But
Kind of let him off a little bit when it's his house, but
not anymore. It's not.
well, yeah, I suppose.
As Joy clearly pointed out, it's her house
Well,
now.
yeah, it is now.
Because they have that scene where he shows up and he's got the oranges and the incense, and she's like, "Oh, this is like a peace offering." Just before he gets pissed off because she tries to buy his name off of him for $100 million. And that scene really stuck out to me as poor. And this was where like him as an actor really wasn't working for me, because he was trying to like tell her about all this stuff and like inner peace, and
Just doesn't sell it, does he?
he doesn't. He feels he legitimately feels like a college like frat boy who spent a summer in another culture and came back wanting to talk about it all the time.
And I wish he was playing a bit more of a party boy and kind of having a bit more fun with it. I feel like he'd really own the role if that was the case.
Maybe, but here's my problem. He shouldn't sound like this if he's been 15. He spent more time there growing up there than he did in our world. He should sound genuine. He should sound convincing about this stuff. But
Yeah,
instead, he does legitimately sound like he spent a summer somewhere and he wants to talk about his fun holiday.
Yeah, and you have to say that's down to the acting, not the writing, because there's nothing inherent in the writing there that says he didn't. It is his delivery, I think, for these parts.
I'll argue that a little bit. I think there's a problem in the writing is that he always brings it up far too quickly. And it sounds like he should know better than to bring it up this... Because it sounds crazy, and we've spoken about before how he keeps bringing up these crazy ideas and talking about his mantra and whatnot.
He does too. I mean, I think it was weird. The line was to the doctor. That was stupid.
Yeah.
But the other bits, I kind of get. He like you say, he spent so long there, more than he did here. He's not really known anything else for so long that would have just been open things to say there.
Yeah, okay,
so I can
fine.
kind of buy it in that sense.
At the same time, he sounds like someone... He sounds like a douchebag who learned about a new thing and wants to talk about it non-stop. You go over to someone's house for a dinner party, and they spent a couple of weeks in Tibet, and all they want to talk about is the things they learned in Tibet, and it's annoying. You want to punch them in the face because they won't shut up about their stupid holiday because you don't care.
But you're at their house, so you got to shut up and eat their food and listen to the damn story.
Yes.
This metaphor kind of got away from us, didn't it?
Yes. Except I am not at Marvel Netflix's house. I can speak my mind, and I am.
Exactly.
So,
it's nice to have that freedom, isn't it?
Dear. That was episode 3.
Yeah.
It wasn't as offensively annoying as episode 2, but
it didn't make me throw my remote across the room this time.
But honestly, it went in slower. Like, this dragged for me. It really did, by the time we got to the end of the episode. Because at one point I checked the time thinking this must be nearly over, and I was at the 35-minute mark and there was still 25 minutes left, and it was like, oh my god.
I did that in the first episode. But this was worse than that in terms of pacing.
It was. It really, really was. God. Glacial. Glacial is the term.
Just 10 more to go.
That is Iron Fist episode 3. I genuinely hope you enjoyed it more than we are, because this is kind of frustrating.
I am seeing a fair amount of comments from people saying that they're not understanding the hate, that they're enjoying it, and great, good for you. I'm happy for you. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates, or you can get our individual Twitters on the screen for everyday ramblings. We'll be back with more soon. We're going 2 per day, so you can expect another one shortly. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you next time.